Now, when we're talking about Sudan, and we're talking about southern Sudan, that has suffered from 23 years of civil war, the infrastructure's gone. The roads are gone. The houses are gone.
Sudan is an African country that has been devastated by 50 years of civil war. The north, with ties to Egypt and the Islamic Middle East, and the south, that is predominantly Christian. This constant conflict has crippled this nation. Warring factions, supported by an assortment of players, have caused the death of millions, created millions of fleeing refugees, and eliminated any civilized structure to supply even the simplest needs: food, health, and education.
When I was 9 years old, I get separated from my parents due to the war in Sudan. I fled over the year 1987, joined a group of people who were also on their way to a refugee camp. I just landed in Ethiopia in a camp called Penyedu. And that was the refugee camp I was in with the rest of the boys from Sudan.
Fidele Diing was one of the thousands of young boys, the lost boys, who walked in danger of constant death to refugee camps in Ethiopia.
It was not good to be in the refugee camp where there are no even basic needs for the human life.
He, with thousands of others, spent their teenage years in United Nations refugee camps, where at least they were safe and fed.
My thinking was, because we were getting pre-education from United Nations, I was thinking of finishing my high school. That time, through Red Cross, they helped me find my parents. I know where they are. So what was in my mind was to finish high school and go back to Sudan.
An unexpected opportunity was presented to Fidele and many other lost boys. Through an initiative instigated by then President Clinton, Fidele was brought to America, to Syracuse, New York, where with the help of Catholic Charities, he built a new life. He went to school, earned his GED, went to college, and is a graduate at the University of Buffalo. All this in a few short years. Needing a place to stay in Buffalo, he found Father Ron, and the miracle of faith once again was demonstrated.
I know so many of the boys. I want to see the videos.
2 years earlier, Father Ron saw this video on the program Dateline. Saw this very boy, young Fidele, and prayed, "Child of God, if you were in this country, you'd be in our house, and we would take care of you."
This is a story about thousands of children and a remarkable journey.
There you are. And he points to the television and he goes, "That's me," you know, and I'm looking at, I put the pause on, I'm looking at the picture, I'm looking at him, I'm looking at the ears, and I said, "My gosh, that's you," you know, and we were just so overjoyed. And then I remembered what I said, I remembered what I prayed. Yes. And I nearly started crying because he was right there.
That example of faith.
It's right there.
After graduation, Fidele wanted to see his mother, his younger brothers and sisters, who he had not seen for many years. He sold his car, all his belongings, and returned to his homeland. While traveling with his younger brother, tragedy struck. In a horrible bus crash, his younger brother was killed.
And in Sudan, it's different here. You cannot just go freely without somebody maybe asking you for a bribe, or even they can take your things, your money, your belonging. So he offered himself to accompany me to this town where I will take catch the train or the airplane, the plane to south. Then on the way, accident happened, and he died there, and I went back to Khartoum and planned my journey again. I didn't give up. But I know many people asked me to come back and cancel going to the south, but I said, I was coming for the whole family, not only one person.
He pressed on. He eventually returned to his village, and there many people sought him out for help. The prodigal son had returned, and Fidele saw how much was needed and became determined to help his people.
While I was there, I was not even thinking of maybe doing a project or, get some help. I was knowing that after my education, I can go back and help them through my skill. But what I saw there and to what I see in people, a lot of people, I was surprised when people even come while I'm sleeping in the morning. It was, some injuries, asking me if I could help them.
Fidele thought that the best way to start would be to build a medical clinic. He asked Reaching Out to Africa to consider his idea.
I looked at his proposal, and of course the thought comes in infrastructure. I mean, gosh, they don't even have roads. What about railways? What about supplies? What about, a medical infrastructure? What about, how is that all connected? And we've already begun looking at infrastructure.
A lot of people think of America, of doing something, because it's the only country that is, full of charities, agencies, local agencies that can even help through contribution.
Reaching Out to Africa had done much work in Uganda, but this project is more, much more than they have ever done before.
If you're looking at the whole thing, you can really, did I bite off more than I can chew? But you can't allow that kind of paralysis to stop what you can do now. Because you don't walk by just getting up and starting. You put one step in front of the other. You have to start the steps. You start the steps. My experience is that you start the steps, and God will open those doors and make a way for it to happen. You have to step out in faith.
Be with you all. And it happened in April 2009. Fidele and I went to the village of Kuyum. This water, we blessed the water of our baptism. We blessed the people. We blessed the site. With the chief and the village elders, we broke ground for the Kuyum Medical Clinic.
To have better life, better health care, and for also the young generation to go to school, get education, and make their life better. Yeah, I feel I have to do it.
Fidele is not alone in his desire to help his people. And we're looking at possibly uniting these clinic operations through the church.
To accomplish his work in Sudan, much is needed.
Well, prayer first. Prayer for the survival of this project, because the miracle of prayer can move mountains. I mean, Jesus said, if you ask in faith, a mountain will move into the sea, and we believe that. We really believe that. So we lift this up in prayer, and we ask for the prayer of the people. That's number one, Number two, we ask for the consideration. We ask for people to have faith that this project can succeed, to talk about it, get the word out that this is happening, that they met Fidele Diing, they met one of the lost boys, they're confident in the project. And thirdly, maybe by the financial contribution to make that work.
It has to be realized that a project like this means so much to the Sudanese. The clinic will certainly help. Thousands will benefit, now and long into the future. But it will take a substantial financial commitment to begin this important work.
It's nothing better than uniting people together and showing that the world really isn't as big as we think it is. It's really a small village of people dedicated to help one another.